My dreams come true.
Welcome back to Weebology, episode 11.
What is up, you guys?
This is Ethan,
This is Ricky.
and how you doing there, Rick?
Pretty good, man. I ate a big old plate of skinny meatballs before I came over here, so I was feeling pretty lethargic. And
Cool,
then
man.
I took had a little bit of quick little coffee sip, and now I'm feeling ready for class.
Yeah,
Up and ready.
I had a venti americano today, so
Quadruple espresso shot.
Yeah.
He's actually vibrating in his seat from energy.
believe it or not, I adulted too, and I vacuumed my apartment.
Did you really?
Yeah,
I totally noticed. It looks great in here, Ethan.
I have a.
I didn't notice that.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it a geodesic carpet.
A geodesic? What does
yeah.
that mean?
I don't know, but I assume it means something related to lots of different shapes.
It does have at least 4 different shapes in this carpet.
No, I mean, there's like a lot of shapes and different colors and stuff, so it doesn't surprise me you didn't notice. But yeah, it's spick and span on this floor. You could eat off it.
Is that part of the show? Are we doing that today? Are we going to eat off the floor?
Yeah, so
I just told you I ate, buddy. You should
you
have
can
told
go
me.
over to YouTube and go to Weebology Podcast channel and watch our content.
Watch us eat spaghetti and meatballs and some beautiful socceroonie sauce right off the carpet.
Yeah.
So what are we doing in class today? What are we doing?
Yeah, so today, fortunately, it is about to be summer 2019 anime season.
Ooh, I'm excited. Y'all
So
are
why
too.
that is fortunate is because normally we are months behind.
Oh yeah.
So we're actually ahead.
We're actually we're pretty good. By the time this comes out, you should have a couple episodes of most of the animes in that season. So we'll be giving it pre-air for most of those shows. And we're gonna go do a rundown. Just what are we excited about? What shows are we hyping on? Why are we hyping on them? And then we're gonna get in a little bit of debate. Not really too divisive, but maybe is for all of you. What's our topic in this opinionated segment?
Yeah, so we had put a pin in this in episode 0, I believe. The dub versus sub debate.
Ooh, we're taking it off the imaginary wall. I don't know how to do a reverse pop.
You know what? Maybe not that.
Hey, welcome to some ASMR.
Yeah, no, actually, no.
Oh no. But yeah, we'll be discussing our thoughts on dubbed anime versus subtitled anime, and we'll break down which one we like, which one we like better,
And why?
And
more
why.
specifically. Hey, Rick, quick cue. What are you watching these days?
What am I watching? I got really caught up this weekend. Demon Slayer is still crushing it. It's actually a beautiful segue into next
Kimetsu
season.
no Yaiba. Love it.
Yeah. Very clean. I'm watching. We talked about in the last episode. I was given the picture dish, fully coolly. I watched a couple of first episodes of it. I'm gonna reserve my review until we actually go back to that in a couple episodes.
Hint, it's really good.
It is really good. I will give it a sneak peek. It is pretty tight.
Yeah.
But that's really the big stuff I'm doing. I might pick up a recommendation from RoboPat, but I may wait until a certain episode before I do that. So
You certainly should wait for that.
I don't know. I'm just not saying anything about I'm just whatever.
Yeah, so we got a special guest next episode. RoboPat will be on the podcast.
The myth, the legend, the Bionicle Man himself.
It's going to be Ricky and Ethan Feet RoboPat.
Beep boop. He's bringing the scoop.
Yeah. So you got that to look forward to on episode 12, I mean.
So what are you watching? I saw you watching something as soon as I walked in today.
Yeah, I'm watching like a disgusting amount of JoJo's
Yes.
to catch up for our episode 11 conversation.
He's
12. God dang it.
Yeah, he's mainlining JoJo
Like it's actually disgusting.
straight into his body. His stand is gonna be gross by the time he's done.
Yeah, it's been I don't want to say tough because watching a lot of shows isn't like exactly physically arduous,
But
it is.
anyone who's seen JoJo, it's very much by way of the way I describe it's like eating velvet cake. Like it's really delicious to have in like bits, but you're not gonna sit down and eat a whole cake in one sitting. It's just gonna make you feel sluggish and like
or a cake and a half in this case.
or a cake and a half. I've seen people do binge JoJo, but it's not easy. It's very
well,
very dense.
I think this kind of leads into our dub versus sub debate, but it was mad. I don't know. I get a lot more exhausted when I have to read the whole time.
Right.
I think it is very bingeable to hit up some dubs, but it's a lot harder to do that for subs.
Well, we'll definitely get that.
We'll reserve some right there, but yeah. And then I'm watching. I'm up to date on the wise man's nephew or whatever it is.
Wise man's nephew,
grandson,
the grandfather's cousin.
I think it's wise man's grandchild. That's right.
It's been pretty widely known if you've been keeping up with the podcast.
Ricky hates
I'm not
it.
a fan of it, man.
I was not a fan of the last 3 episodes. This episode, I don't hate that much.
You kind of find your way back a little bit.
I'm also halfway through Made in Abyss, which was my pitcher ditch.
We'll save. I want to talk about that definitely during Dub and Sub.
But I'm just trying to let y'all know I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. I'm watching the shiz out of some shows.
We out here.
It's
trying
like
to
actually
keep
sad.
up. And to keep current, you're gonna want to know. You're gonna want to know what you're gonna want to watch in summer 2019 anime season.
Right. As we sit today, it's like June 20th ish, and these shows should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So this is.
We'll see. Yeah. So we'll see.
This exact episode that we're recording right now might not come till mid-July. So I don't know how.
But by that point, a lot of these at least have a couple. Yeah. They'll have had a couple episodes out. So what we hype and what we not. First one on the list, I think it is going by either rating if it's a leftover or otherwise, but it's Kimetsu no Yaiba season 2. Well, really the second half of season 1.
Yeah, I think it's part 2 of season 1.
Definitely hyping on it. I'm gonna keep watching it. It's so good. It's so crispy.
Yeah, and so when we talked about our is it okay to hype things, I think this case really follows the it's okay to hype it now because you've watched half a season.
Yeah, and have you noticed this trend of like shows doing 24 episodes and they
I don't
cut
know
them
what
up?
the hell is going on.
I'm actually kind of cool with that.
I guess I'm digging it, but it just seems like every show decided to do it in 1 year.
Yeah, I think it feels like the new model for season, like a season concept where it's kind of like a part 1, part 2. I don't know if we have Attack on Titan to thank for that, but I think they just had some weird hiatus in the middle of the production of season 3. But they definitely took a break in the middle. So Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer, definitely all about that one. Now, I think I have the livechart.me is a great website to go to actually see everything. The next one they have up, I was looking through the list today, a disturbing amount of isekais. Disturbing amount of isekais.
The world.
And do you ever hear one called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon"?
What?
you ever saw that? It's definitely a light novel.
Yeah, I've definitely not heard of that.
Well, for those of you who are fans of that particular show, it's coming out the number 2. It's literally called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 2." And it's called All the Events Covered in the 6th light novel. So, I don't know. I mean, I've actually never watched this particular anime. Have you seen any like plots or synopsis, that kind of thing? Or
I have absolutely never heard of this.
Have you really not?
No.
Hell yeah. Okay.
I see isekai cheat magician, but I don't see anything related to this.
So the season 1 synopsis kind of goes something like this, and there's a huge labyrinth city called Oraru. Is the gate. It's a gateway between a huge underground maze commonly known as the dungeon, and its strange name causes excitement. It's a place to gain honor and maybe romance with a pretty girl. Okay, it looks like we have a little bit of harem on our hands, but it doesn't.
Little bit,
and it doesn't even look like a harem. It looks like they have one main chick. That's kind of like more of an Asuma with Kirito, sort of online kind of deal. So there's it really does feel like a light novel. So if you did like the first season, second one's coming out. It will be airing in 22 days from now.
If you
so
did, good
late
for
July.
you because you're alone.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one's heard of this
You're
show.
not helping us. We're not helping you too much in this one. Fruit Basket's coming out. Not really my cup of tea. Though there's a lot of fans of Fruit Basket out there.
Yeah.
In terms of slice of life. So that is coming out. You are a fairy tale guy, if I remember, yeah?
I have watched all the way up till their big hiatus, and
Yeah.
I am knowledgeable about what's going on.
Well,
but I have
hiatus over, my friend. It looks like final series is.
It's already been playing.
Oh.
It's
Then-
a continuation.
Then
It's like,
perfect. Then perfect.
I don't know if it's still the same deal as like 24 episodes or whatever, but actually, no, they've done quite a few already. So
I do feel like
think
a bit
it's
of
just a continuation.
I feel like a little bit of a dunce here, kind of like a dunce cap wearing fool at the moment, because in the last episode we talked about spring 2019, Fairy Tale final series did come up. So,
You are a fool.
oh, you know what? You know, the harsh.
This
I
is
can
a
do
public
that to
shaming
me.
of you.
This is a public shaming of me. I can do this to me.
And you did do it, and I'm just decided to pile on.
Okay, you know what? I feel like that's a little bit fair. So, next one is one that you've been hyping like crazy. Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't want to. I'm not here overhyping this on bitch.
You
I
don't think
just
so?
think that y'all should watch it.
it looks good, dude. I mean, for those that have not been listening or don't really know much about Dr. Stone, several thousand years after a mysterious phenomenon that turns all of humanity into stone.
To stone.
To stone. Like crazy. The extraordinarily intelligent, science-driven boy, Senku Ishigami, awakens. That is actually going to be interesting. Like, why him? Why does he awaken? And why is he, of all people, the one who could probably save humanity? Because he is kind of like a crazy Einstein of sorts, maybe?
God bless you, son.
Thank you. We can cut that out. RoboPat, cut that out in post. I don't sneeze. So
I don't drop stuff and I don't pick stuff up.
I don't do any of that. So the one thing I noticed is that the people who are putting this on is TMS Entertainment. If you have not heard of TMS Entertainment, let me tell you some of the stuff they have made, just to let you know their lineage. They have produced Megalobox, which RoboPat is super hype on. All of the Detective Conan stuff, but also Sonic X. And Monster Farm for any of you 4Kids Saturday morning cartoon children out there, and also the one, the only Hamtaro.
Of course,
Dude. It looks like we got a banger on our hands. These people have an awesome lineage.
Maybe they're turning it around.
Yeah,
New management.
Yeah, seriously. Saint Seiya, D Gray Man. So TMS Entertainment's got a weird, like, tattered.
That's funny because D Gray Man does look a lot like the art for this.
Yeah.
So I guess I could have probably put that together. D Gray Man was a show I watched a lot of, but it didn't have the hooks to keep me going.
Yeah.
I think it was like fairly long, like 60 episodes or something.
Oh yeah.
And maybe I only got through 15 to 30.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I gave it a couple episodes too. I definitely gave it the prerequisite 3, lest I get 30,000 lashes.
Right.
For not committing at least to that. So there is one isekai coming out that has made me curious a little bit. And it is...
Wait a minute. I want to talk about Dr. Stone a little bit more.
Oh, hit me. Yeah. What you got? You were the one who's doing a little more research on it than I was.
Well, if y'all don't remember from earlier when I had brought it up, I think what's cool about it is basically, from what I've read, the story is a high schooler that was basically encased in stone wakes up and realizes that for a couple of months, this guy that he had mentioned, Senku, has been running around like a mad scientist, just like making all this shit. So what's cool about the story is they basically start from the Stone Age, obviously, like Dr. Stone, whatever, right?
Right.
And they have to go through scientific discoveries as we did, but like way compressed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be one of those shows where you're actually learning as it goes. And I think that's probably what, you know, if I'm going to call myself hyping it, that's the coolest thing to me. I just really like the like following a logical thread for a show. Like, for instance, if there's like a easy weakness to a bad guy that really ticks me off. So that might come into play, but I do like that they're following at least like a scientific kind of through line or whatever you want to call it.
I could definitely jump on that. I know Log Horizon had a lot of that. Again, isekai trash that I am. That one had the hook. There was that he was coming in, and it was a very underdeveloped society, and not only did he have to learn the logistics of the world itself as it is, but also he, as he does so, kind of gives order and politics and organization and industry to this kind of more primitive isekai world. So I totally get you on that, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why I'm hyping it. And also the people who made Sonic X, I'm not gonna say no to a show that.
You say Hamtaro, and I instantly think gold.
You already gold, yeah. The animation in Hamtaro is just clean.
Yeah, it's clean. The story is tight.
The story is so written tight. Oh man. So yeah, by the time you listen to this episode, Dr. Stone will have had a couple episodes out. It comes out July 5th, and go ahead and check it out. It'll be on Crunchyroll. It'll be on all the other platforms, hopefully. But I mean, Crunchyroll is. We're not sponsored by Crunchyroll, but I mean, if Crunchyroll wants to toss us some kickbacks,
yeah,
I'm not going to say no to that.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm not going to say no to that. So there's an isekai next door on this page that has kind of, tickled the old fancy, kind of getting the gears turning. Where
is this the cheat one?
No, I want to get to that one next because that one made me upset. But this one is called From Commonplace to the World's Strongest.
If this doesn't just kind of illustrate the problem of isekais right now, that they're just like, I guess they made a lot of money off Sword Art Online. They just decided we're gonna do all of those.
Oh yeah, dude, it's not great that it's so
quite
oversaturated.
Pervasive.
But at this point, I like isekai because transported to another world. Okay, that's where's my hook, right? That is no longer the hook. You have to give me something different. The synopsis I got, it goes like this. It starts out so generic, I want to die. Is 17-year-old Hajime Nagumo is your average everyday otaku. Here we are off the bat. Guys, isekai creators, don't give me an otaku every time. Salaryman,
kind of annoying.
I'll take a salaryman. I'll take one who's actually social and has friends.
Well, that's getting annoying. That's overplayed too.
It's so overplayed. I know.
What they need to do is they need to give us like some freaking medieval hero or something.
Ooh,
that gets isekai'd into modern day.
Modern.
That would be nuts.
That's kind of a Fate.
Yeah, you're right.
The Fate's kind of got that, but I like where your head's at.
I take it back.
No,
that was a bad choice.
If only they made a whole series and an extended universe around that very concept.
I'm gonna go ahead and delete this episode.
We're shutting it down. Okay. However, his simple life of pulling all-nighters and sleeping in school is suddenly turned upside down when he, along with the rest of his class, is summoned to a fantasy world.
What's this called? Hang on, what's this called?
From Commonplace to the World's Strongest.
So there's another show on Netflix right now that is very similar, where the whole entire class gets summoned somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So what is going on with these?
I don't know what this is. People are trying to find hooks.
Each other's descriptions, and they're like, "I'm just gonna hook it slightly to the left."
So what's interesting about this one is that they're treated like heroes and they're tasked with duty of saving the human race from utter extinction. Blah 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 blah. We've heard it all before. But what has been any otaku's, and literally this plot says what should have been any otaku's wet dream, quickly turns into Hajime's nightmare. While the rest of his class are blessed with godlike powers, Hajime's job, the synergist, only has a single transmutation skill. Ridiculed and bullied by his classmates for being weak, he soon finds himself in despair. Will he be able to survive in this dangerous world of monsters and demons with only a glorified blacksmith's level of strength? Now, if my weakness for isekai is anything, it is not that someone is instantly playing the power fantasy. They have to work their way from a negative. Rise of the Shield Hero did it so well. This kind of has an air of that, but again, there's so many other generic isekai buzzwords in this. I don't know how much I'm going to really give this too much credence.
I think it would be cool if everything was the same that you just said, but he decides he wants to be the villain.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
That'd be interesting.
I'd be so down for that. And have we had an anime like that? Or
I don't know that we've really followed a
um,
villain except for like
Overlord.
anti-heroes.
Overlord. I guess he's more of an anti-hero, but he's technically the villain because that Overlord is like a weird trans isekai where he was like a godly like level 99 player of one world that was already virtual, but his character got popped from there to another isekai world.
Right.
And like trans isekais that was just like from another world to another world.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
I don't know. It's just a weird word.
It's trans isekai. They're changing the game. So Overlord is more like the villain of that other world. Ainz El Ghul.
Yeah. I mean, so we followed throughout different anime some anti-heroes, like for instance, Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Oh yeah,
He's
Code
pretty much an
Geass.
anti-hero.
Yeah.
Kira.
Kira's great. Yeah.
I don't even know if you call him a hero. He's kind of just the bad guy.
He's a very twisted sense of morality.
Right. So I think it'd be kind of cool to follow. I mean, that's another situation where he just instantly comes up and gets like god powers, basically, right?
Right. From zero to hero ? You know?
Yeah, 0 to god killing Shinigami.
Yep. Who loves apples and treats us
Yeah.
various natures.
But I think it would be cool to have this dude who has blacksmith strength or whatever they called it, and then he like builds up and he just keeps stewing about his dumbass teammates and classmates, and he comes back and just like slowly picks them off or something.
That'd be cool.
It would
be
be cool.
really cool.
Because you could mix all of those.
You want to just ditch this podcast and go write that? And let's just get rich. Isekais are obviously hot right now.
Yeah, they're so hot right now.
So another example. This one made me upset. When I tell you the name Isekai Cheat Magician, what do you think of in terms of like his plot line? Like a cheat magician.
I think he's a fake magician.
That would be exactly. That was the first thing I thought. Imagine a story where you're transported to another world and people think you're overpowered, but you're really good at faking it.
Here's my problem. All this transferred to another world shit.
Yeah.
Explain that process, because it just seems like it always is like, pop, we're in another world.
Yeah, there was never. I think it's funny you say that, because I think that pop another world really did start with Sword Art Online, but Sword Art Online had the best premise that really wasn't seen before was VR. You're instantly there.
I think that one's fine. But
And that's why no one else had a good enough hook yet to get you. There are others, but
even Digimon did it better. Where
Digimon did it first. Isekai
you
first.
go in through the dang little digital world thing.
Yo, dude, I never actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Is Digimon the first isekai to really hit it mainstream?
Definitely not the first, but it's one of the best.
More to 11. But Isekai Cheat Magician, it's literally just buzzwords. Look at this. Listen to this. Nashimura Tashi and his friend Rin are transported into a fantasy world. While in their previous world, Tashi is a normal person who just has higher than average reflexes. Both he and Rin gain high levels of physical and magical ability and begin their life as oh my god, shut up. This is literally just a rehash of Sword Art Online minus the video game. I'm appalled. I'm appalled at this. This is bad.
It's certainly bad.
Dude, in before, this is the hottest one of the season.
Probably will be.
Yeah. Like, because Encourage Films. Do you know anything about Encourage Films?
Never heard of them.
Wow. Yeah, not too much. They've made a couple small series. It doesn't look like anything too crazy.
And they will have yet another flop.
Yet another flop. They like rocking in that low 7 out of 10 star range is where they kind of see their shows.
7
rocking.
out of 10 stars is not bad on my anime list.
I know, but that's also kind of like top of the bell curve at this point, really, and pretty standard. I mean, everything in a low 7, between 7 and 7.3.
Median.
Big old median, I would say.
So let's go ahead and move on to the one that you really like.
Ooh, and no Xiao Baozi, aka Fire Force. I am so so stoked for this one. I'm trying not to hype it.
Ricky and
overhype.
Pat Bot have gotten way out of hand on this one.
Dude, Pat like blew a circuit, man. I'm happy.
We replaced his RAM. It was like annoying about it.
To those of you who do not know, this is written by the guy who wrote Soul Eater. Atsushi, I think his name is. Atsushi?
Bates me.
Well, Atsushi, or I think that's what his name is. And the plot kind of goes like this. The terror has paralyzed the
Kind
clockwork.
of goes exactly like this.
Yeah, a
as he
little bit
reads
like
it off
this
of-
as I read it off
I'm just
of
gonna
the synopsis.
guess.
I'm just going to guess. If I had to put it in so many words,
Right.
it's that terror had paralyzed the clockwork metropolis of Tokyo. Basically, people start bursting into flames, leading people to establish a special firefighting team called the Fire Force. And they're essentially godlike firemen that have a very unique addition to the team, Shinra, a boy who possesses unique power to run at the speed of a rocket, leaving behind the famous Devil's Footprints and destroying his shoes in the process, so he can't wear shoes. So he's just this barefoot firefighter who is just really good. Everyone in the show seems to be able to control fire in some
It
respect.
sounds so dumb to me, but I'll let it.
It looks, and it's made by David Production, who
Does JoJo?
does JoJo.
We all know,
We all know about that
right?
JoJo.
Everyone on podcast land here has heard of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, they better
And
have.
if not, episode 12 is your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna go deep.
We're gonna go deep on it. We installed a Rocky historian chip into Pat, and he got the JoJo patch. He now knows way too much
Like
for
to
his
part
own
8,
good.
it's kind of a mess.
Oh man, but yeah, that's if I were to hype one show, it's that one. Episode 1 comes out in 15 days from now. We might land this episode somewhere right after that first or second episode comes out. So I am hype.
I think you're looking at more like 5 to 6 weeks.
You're 5 to 6 weeks, whatever. And the rest of these, I don't know how I feel about the rest of these. I guess maybe another installment of a certain magical index is coming out. There is a lot of hentai stuff I'm looking at here.
As per usual.
Yeah, I think I may have diverted away from the page you're on. What are we doing? I got distracted.
Can't remember.
I got distracted. No, there's a lot of Ichi stuff. I'm like, all right, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
One that stuck out to me though is called the Vinland Saga.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it's about Vikings, and I'm really I'm kind of curious about this now.
I'm a fan of all things Viking.
So it looks like we got ourselves a Viking anime, boys and gals. I'm pretty stoked on that.
For 1,000 years, the Vikings have made quite a name and reputation for themselves as the strongest families with a thirst for violence. Thorfinn, the son of one of the Vikings' greatest warriors, spends his boyhood in a battlefield enhancing his skills in his adventure to redeem his most desired revenge after his father was murdered.
Murdered.
Honestly, that was like the most
That's
like not saying anything kind of.
right.
I don't know how to explain
that really set that really
said
set
absolute
anything up.
jack.
Yeah, that really set anything up.
I mean, so I'm down for Vikings, but that was like not a good.
Not a good plot. Well, I
Mal News.
I think I got a
is
worse
the
one
source
for you.
on that. So go ahead and write them a letter about how shite that was.
Dear Wit Studios, get yourself in line and give us more info.
Yeah, what the? Oh, that's a manga. Oh no, my bad.
No, that's
It was originally a manga.
Yeah, it was originally a manga.
It is action, adventure, historical, drama, seinen. So that's for adult men.
Hey, wait, I'm one of those.
Wait, that's me.
I'm an adult man. So, again, more isekai, dude. Do you love your mom and her 2-hit multi-target attacks? Are you kidding me? One, it's JC Staff, which I'm pretty pissed about right now. If you can wonder why and imagine why, that they did my boy Saitama dirty. But I digress. The plot is that this person thought he was part of a random survey.
Wait,
but-
why'd they do your boy dirty? I don't get it.
Wait, what? JC Staff did One Punch Man Season 2.
Are you sure?
I'm very positive.
Okay.
They're the ones who got the staff changed, but they also lost a lot of that sweet talent. They also did Food Wars as well, which does look great. So I don't know
what's going on here.
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. But so this guy thought he was part of a random survey, but when he got involved in a secret government scheme, he winds up trapped in the game world. Whoops! Isekai'd you at the last second. Even more surprising, his mother's there too. Oh my god.
It was a little different from a typical transported to another world setting.
Wait, is this the same show? You're hitting me with another synopsis right now?
It's the same show.
Hell yeah. No, seriously. Go for it.
I can't. It ends right there.
Wait, what?
Everything you just read and then ends right there.
Oh.
It's like scrollable, but I printed it out.
Wow, look at you going analog. Oh, dude, this hurts. This hurts. How many isekais are there in here?
I don't know, but it's obviously out of hand.
Wait, we got another one. I think we got another one. A girl who chants love at the bound of this world. Oh, it's a continuation. I think this is a leftover. Yep, it is sitting right at that sweet 7.3 mark.
Mao-sama retry.
Oh yeah, I saw that on my list.
That's another isekai.
Another isekai. What is this, man? I don't know, dude. We got a hot comedy ichi that's called How Much Do Your Dumbbells Weigh? Or how heavy are your dumbbells you lift? It literally, the synopsis starts with, Hibiki, are you fat again?
Whoa.
Yeah, didn't we talk about this in the Japanese culture episode? Like, they're very bold and brash about how they're gonna...
They'll literally but they'll poke your fatness.
They'll poke your fatness. Man, I feel like we hit all the ones we care about. Any other ones that you notice were ones you care about? Or Nah? Nothing else tickles your fancy?
The only thing there that even seems borderline good is Dr. Stone to me. And you know what? I'll say borderline Fire Force just for my boys.
I respect that.
I'll watch the 3, but I'm not
I think
I have exactly negative hype for that show.
The shonen schmuck blood inside of your veins is going to get tickled fancy when you see this animation. I mean, I think you're going to be like, gee dang it, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to watch all of it.
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will.
At 11.
Yeah, 11. I got nothing else. There's an interesting one called Lord L. Melio 2 Case Files. Fantasy mystery supernatural. Seems like it's a light novel, but there's not a lot of synopsis here about it. I've heard nothing except for right now about it. So, that one kind of tickles the family. Give it a couple episodes. I don't know. I just don't know. So much good stuff. Probably some hidden gems. We'll have to wait for the season to come out and actually start. So,
cool. So, hey Rick, quick question for you.
Oh yeah.
We had originally talked in, I think that was episode, 3 or 4 now. Mm-hmm. Gateway Animes.
Yeah. And
I think we had pretty much decided that dub was a very good gateway for most people, right?
It is inarguably probably the best way if you can get a good dubbed show.
Boy, what a segue.
Yeah, boy, what a segue.
Yeah, I think my personal opinion on it is 2 to 3-fold.
Okay.
First off, I think it is a lot easier on the eyes.
So is this you softballing into that you're firmly planting your feet on the dub side of this?
So heavy, it's insane.
Okay, you're cemented. Your foundation is setting.
Sure, if I could never see another sub again, I'd be down.
The man bought a $250,000 home on this property on dub.
1.5 million.
Whoa! I stand corrected. This man is sitting on Dub Lane, USA. Yeah. Wow. Might as well go live in Dublin.
Nobody laughed.
I'll take those comedic kickbacks now.
If any of y'all are laughing at that, you should feel ashamed.
No, you shouldn't. You should feel great.
Yeah, so
your sense of humor.
Get a new one.
Yeah, get a new one, but you have one now,
Bad
so
laugh.
I respect that.
No, so dub to me is superior for many reasons, as I said, threefold.
Okay.
First of all, it is a lot easier for newer people to the space to come into it. Second of all, I think it would help like a studio be more like cognizant of their anime if they also are like specifically, staffing and casting, English speakers as well. But, and then, like I had mentioned, it's like an immersion thing. I think I meant, this must have been episode 0 where we put the pen in it. But I think for me, a lot of the immersion gets kind of shaken when you don't get, the dub, like, voice actor. And I'll give you an example. In Durarara, there is obviously both a dubbed and a subbed.
Right.
If you listen to the dub, though, Simon, the like gigantic black Russian guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, he actually uses like a Russian accent in dubbed.
Okay.
And so you get the idea that he's Russian, but if you're just looking at him and seeing him speak Japanese and reading that he's Russian, it's a little like, you know what I mean? It's a little
there are definitely
not as immersive.
There are merits to dub, and I mean what you were saying about immersion too visually. The other day when you were saying you were watching Made in Abyss, that as you're watching it, you said it's beautiful artwork, but I feel like I have to kind of split my attention span up between trying to read and keep up with the plot, but also appreciate the visuals they have to offer.
So I've actually been thinking about this quite a bit since I mentioned that previously. And, you and Patbot had mentioned not really having an issue with that, or at least Patbot did. Mm-hmm. And, I realized he watches most of his anime on his phone, right?
True.
Something like that. So he's got a lot smaller of a screen, so he's able to fully encompass.
Yeah.
Right. He's a lot of fully encompass all of the visuals and the writing all in one quicker move. Mm-hmm. But for instance, on my massive television, I have to literally like move my eyes up and down.
You set up this whole topic just to humble brag about your 150-inch television that I see on your wall.
Yeah, it's just a 55, like a normal
155.
Human.
You left out 100.
Yeah, it's 255 inches.
Literally, there is no wall.
I bought a
only
house
screen.
just for my TV.
Yeah, it was a massive project. It took him weeks and months to complete.
Yeah, I actually had to contact Samsung and get a custom screen.
Called it the CEO, like, if you have a screen that big, I have a wallet this big as well.
No, but like genuinely, not even just being a kind of a jerk about it, but and this is gonna be so nerdy, but also in video games, like I think they've basically decided for like competitive gamers the correct screen size, or not correct, but optimized screen size is like 24 inches to like 17 to 24.
Yo, our buddy Ryan has said the same stuff, like between 24 and 32. That's kind of
it's smaller than that.
Is it really smaller? I think 27
is the top end.
Oh, nice.
For like CS:GO pros or whatever you want to say.
I got what you're saying. Like
because
PC people,
right? Maybe I might be not saying this correctly, but my understanding is, you have less distance to move on the screen. Mm-hmm. If it's a smaller like distance to move. You know what I mean?
I think what you're getting at is that
like less pixels essentially.
Right. You hit the sweet spot of visual information that you can like take in, and as
like refresh rate and things like that start to play in, where if it's a smaller screen, high refresh rate, whatever, you're able to actually move more fluidly and quickly from like say clicking one guy's head to clicking the next guy's head.
Right.
And I'll kind of correlate that to watching anime subbed, is that you have to look down, read, look back up at what you're supposed to be watching. Mm-hmm. Like I'll give you an example for JoJo's, at least recently in part 4 is what I'm on. They're like have so much shit on the screen, like writing wise. I don't care who you are. There's no way you guys read the whole thing. It's like literally the entire screen is filled up with subtitles.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but what I'm saying is that
it's like I don't see who's supposed to be reading that and watching the environment, and like Like for instance, like you mentioned for Made in Abyss, that is such a beautiful, beautiful show, and the environment is so gorgeous. But I have to constantly look down and read, and it's just I don't know. I think it takes away a little bit of it for me personally.
I can see that.
What's your opinion?
If I had to plant myself, I would say in sub. But if I can find a good dub,
Can you give me some reasoning?
yeah. So I mean, one, I am very impatient, and if I know that, say, like the new My Hero Academia season is gonna be out on a certain date, but if I want it dubbed, I'd have to wait until that season's maybe close to over before that dub starts to come out. I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting and running. I want to get my show. I want to see the story. I want to see it all in action. So when it comes to dub, speed of delivery for the rest of the world is tops. And I think, you did talk about when subbing in English, and there is a lot of really quality talent. I'm thinking like Chris Sabat, what's his name? Sean Schummer, or whoever Schummer, the guy, the voice of English Goku. Steve Blum, who's
Johnny Young Bosch.
I mean, Matt Mercer. They're all fantastic, top-notch, world-class voice actors. And if you drop their name in a dub, I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to give this dub a go. But I don't know if the rest of the world at this point have the same quality in the field. With subs, all you got to do is flip the language, and you have the original top-notch Japanese voice actors as it was originally designed. And that segues into my other point, is there's something for me, anime got a weird rap a little bit traditionally because of mouth syncing to the actual English words. And it may not be super crispy in Japanese with Japanese audio because of saving money on animation and stuff like that, so the mouths are not exactly perfectly synced, every syllable, every lip movement, but there's something about pacing, there's something about the Japanese voice acting that it feels more as the original creators designed it. There are shows that break this exception because they were designed for English, like Castlevania. All the mouth syncing is to the English syllabic motions, and it's incredible immersion for me. I don't think I could watch that show in sub. I don't think I can watch Castlevania in sub for that reason.
So I think it helps because it is a European setting.
Right.
Like we had mentioned this in episode 0. I think the setting allows it to be more immersive if you're speaking in European accents or whatever, anything like that.
Yeah. And I think I found that while I think you're 100% right when it comes to showing new people anime at all, it is very much I'm going to give them a dub. I'm going to give them a dub. But in terms of far-reaching in breadth, I think getting it out internationally, sub is more effective because it's one voice team, but you can just, sub it in any language you want. Even fans can do it. Just go and just sync the words to the scenes, and any fan who likes the show and knows Japanese and any other language could do the work. It just seems to be disseminated across the community more effectively with sub. So I guess that's more because I'm a very impatient boy. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna wait.
I think you've brought up a phenomenal point with that, and that's the only reason I've really watched subbed. If I don't have the option for dub, what the hell am I gonna do?
And consider this. Imagine you're watching halfway through a show in dub, and you're really in the cut. You love the story, you love the character.
Cut. This kid,
deep in the cut, man.
Two episodes in a row.
You're deep in it, man. You're deep in the story, and then all of a sudden your dub runs out. You now have to get used to a whole new voice cast, and you want to talk about immersion breaking? That for me has done it in the past.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass, but like you say, you're an impatient boy. I'm an impatient.
We're impatient boys all around.
Boys.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so let me ask you this: all things being equal, you have both a dubbed and a subbed all the way through the series. What do?
I think I'd still go with sub. And I think that the caveat.
I wonder if you're just conditioned.
Maybe the caveat there is if I'll do some research on the voice acting, and if I
couldn't give a shit.
I do. I very much do. I think that's very important for character development and conveying the emotion that. And I think, on a more petty note, Japanese anime noises. Oh. That I don't know what it is about Japanese folk doing that and American voice actors doing that, it just sounds a little more organic when the Japanese voice actors do it. When Americans try to pull off that same thing, I don't know what it is for me. It just doesn't swing. But
Well, so Japanese vocal fillers are more sounds like that.
right.
Like or you know,
Right.
like higher pitched.
So they try to English voice actors try to emulate those exact syllables and things,
Right, which
but
don't really fly with our
particular diction of language and stuff
Right,
like
right.
that. So, dub really can, if you give me a good voice cast and I'll go like, oh, that was that character in this show, or there was this in this video game. I think for me, at the end of the day, I'm gonna lean on sub because I think you're right. I've been conditioned, but if I notice that there are voices in English that I trust, I will ultimately have a better time in English, I believe, because it's the mother language. It's the one I'm gonna I can immerse myself more easily in it. I don't have to go reading, but at this point, I think it is a matter of conditioning. So I don't know. Maybe I just got used to subs, and I don't know if I'll ever.
So are you watching GTO in sub or dub?
I only have a choice for dub. There's only dub on Amazon Prime.
Okay, good. Because the dub was really good.
It is good. Like Steve Blum, voice of Spike from Cowboy Bebop. He's such a great voice actor, and I love him. I love his kind of laid back take. I watched a documentary about him because I was curious about what else he did, and he's done a lot of interesting stuff. It's not coming to me at the moment, but he has done other stuff for other. He was in Space Dandy.
Absolute
he
blank.
Was in, yeah, so he's in
Shampoo?
It's Shampoo. Yeah. That whole era of dub, he was like the king. So
Cool. Yeah, I think one last point for me of why I like dub over sub. I have this weird tendency to want to be doing multiple things at once. Weird or just this day and age.
oh, that's fine. Yeah,
I'm very
information overload.
I prefer to be doing something while I'm doing something, like multitasking. Like for instance, I've mentioned I read a good bit. I always am listening to music at the same time. I don't know why it is, but it helps me kind of block out everything else. Because I think if you have, like, say you have 5 stimuli at once, right?
One for each sense. What are you getting at?
I'm just saying five like auditory stimuli.
Right.
Or let's say 4 auditory and 1 visual.
Okay.
If I can knock that down to 1 auditory and 1 visual, like I can really lock in and focus.
Oh,
but
you're saying that subs is just adding another piece of sensory input.
Exactly.
I get what you're saying. Okay, that's a good point.
And plus, you have to be very on top of it, or else you're gonna miss the entire dialogue. So you have to be watching. You can't glance at your phone or play a game on your phone or something. Like, I don't know. I'd fidget a lot when, like, this has only been fairly recent in my my life, basically since I've started working. I don't know if that's got any correlation, but
I think there might be one there.
it could be to the Americanos I've been drinking too. But
I think at the end of the day, what Ethan's trying to say is that this, his bookshelf, the dubs,
it's all for show.
Him being able to read is a ruse. None of it's real. He can't actually read.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. I think I prefer to be reading.
I don't even know how you got a doctorate in prebology.
Well, like a full page or a full book or something like that. Like, I don't know. If I'm going to read, I should just read the freaking manga, in my opinion.
That's a fair point.
Because I would just slam through it way faster.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also, here's the other thing. If you don't read a lot, like, daily life, like I don't go on Reddit or anything like that like y'all do, but, like, you guys read probably a good chunk there.
Oh, a lot of Ask Reddit threads, yeah.
And then you probably read subs, and that's probably it. Right?
Yeah.
Just about like emails and shit like that too.
I mean, I read a lot of business improvement books because it looks good at work. I will admit, I'm serious. Like performance reviews, like how many books have you read that we had recommended? And I could just come in with a fat stack. I've read about 5 this year. One I just reread is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by I think it's Mac Maron. Yeah,
something.
Mac Maron or Mark Miller or something like that.
It's not.
But
that.
If you do find that, it's a great, just kind of like a great take on life book. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Fantastic read. I highly recommend it. But yeah, so but it's funny you say that about Reddit and stuff like that. Me and RoboPat do read in a lot of short form, very quick. Threads, responses,
Maybe
two,
that's part of
three,
the
four
reason.
lines are the majority of what it is. And when you're looking at anime, after some point when there are dub or sub both options, and I always have gone for sub. I was saying in our group chat that the last, like, GTO may have been the last dubbed anime I watched in a very long time.
So you watched Seven Deadly Sins in sub?
Yeah.
It came out in dub.
I know, but I was still watching it sub.
Oh my god.
That's just how it is.
That's awful. To me, that is like a travesty because the dub's voices are really good.
Are they good?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I've already locked into sub. Like, they're now the voices I had. If I switch now, it's gonna be like, whoa. Who are these characters?
Keanu.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah.
And then, last, kind of along that, I have a friend at work, Ray. Big shout out to my boy.
What's good, Ray?
He does like die-cast modeling and stuff like that for like model trains and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he plays a dubbed show while he's doing that. So he can't watch anime if he does not watch it in dub.
So there are cases for both, for
Right.
sure. If you're doing something else and you're a little distracted, but you still want to get your story, go with dub. I mean, if you really want to go out there and flaunt your weeb cred, get yourself that sub in.
I guess I don't see why it should be more credited. I think we actually talked about this.
But it is weird in the community, right?
It is. I don't know why. I think like you literally have just made this point where it comes out in sub first and then they have to go back and dub it.
Yeah.
But I think we had talked previously if the studios would just make a like concerted effort to just go at it dubbed and subbed at the same time.
And some shows are doing this now.
And that's what I mean.
That's fantastic.
Like
to me.
Seven Deadly Sins is doing that,
Yeah.
right? So I think we're probably getting closer and closer as the United States and UK's
Just the world, yeah.
anime consumption is increasing.
Very much so, yes.
I think you're gonna start seeing more like full-time voice actors in anime and things like that. And I think video games blowing up has really helped too.
Oh yeah, that's where like Matt Mercer is in a lot of animes.
Right.
That's where he got to start because he's McCready in Overwatch, yeah.
McCree, and I'm McCree.
It's
noon.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see more
More of this same sub and dub
like
with more
high quality
options.
dubs.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily care about the quality of the dub as long as they
Is
try to
dubbed.
be, in my opinion, as long as it's dubbed and tries to be immersive. Like if there's a Russian person having that like Slavic accent on the English, I think is, I don't know, it's immersive to me. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way.
That's a good point. And there's probably a lot of Japanese slang that we're not really catching on to the subtleties of the actual language itself. That are
Great
like,
point.
oh yeah, like this person's definitely like from an alley, like just like an alley cat, or like he's like definitely like high posh, and that's probably something that I don't think I personally know the language well enough to see, because even sometimes in the subtitles you can see they're cutting off like G's and ing words and adding I and apostrophe, kind of showing that like I'm chilling, I'm hanging. Like if I were to do that, I'm kind of like trying to like spit a little game or something like that. But when it comes to like
or
Japanese,
if he's in the cut,
I'll deep in the cut, But
that is so bad.
I don't care. That's mine. I'm keeping it.
It's not yours.
It is now. So
Oh my gosh.
in Japanese, there's probably something there that we're not catching. That
I guarantee there is. And here's the other problem. There's a lot of like mistranslations, right?
oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
even for manga, I think there's a lot of mistranslations, and people are going back later and like saying, well, this really should be this, or
do you feel
something like that.
Do you feel that's twofold when it comes to dub, because they have
It's
to have
totally possible.
Yeah, they have to translate the script and then they're given license to do what they want to with the script after that as voice actors.
That's why I want studios to take it upon themselves to cast the dubs too, because
Right.
then chances of them getting it wrong are pretty low.
Oh yeah, at least
studios
they're
involved.
working directly with people with like, okay, they're clearly not what we were meaning
Or like,
to
what's
say.
the intent? Yeah.
Right. So I think at the end of the day, it definitely is preference. Do the one you
but
want.
Dub's obviously better.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's not as authentic, but it's okay.
Authentic.
But yeah. But yeah, thank y'all for listening.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good one.
It was pretty off the cuff too, believe it or not.
Yeah, this one was just a fun one. We're like, hey, you want to talk about summer anime? Duh. The students solve that. You now have homework. Well, by the time you hear this, you'll definitely have homework. So get out there and watch your summer anime. And we're gonna start
Get
doing
to stepping.
Yeah, now that the spring 2019 season is nearly over, and we'll probably start doing some deep dives of stuff that came out in that season.
Right.
And that'll be really fun to do.
We still got to do the deep dive of Black Clover, man.
I know.
I got to talk about it.
You got to talk about it.
I'm brimming.
Hey, man. You know what? That is true. If you're gonna go super hard on JoJo, I feel I got to do my part and go super hard on Black Clover, and I think I will do that for you because you've been really.
You should, because I've cleared like a full season and a half.
Wow. Okay.
We're talking like over 50 episodes.
Wow. What have you been doing with your life since
watching JoJo's and Made in Abyss and like going to the gym occasionally?
Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, give us 5 stars on Apple if you could, if you liked what you heard, if you like what you're hearing.
Please do.
Yes.
And so I've actually been releasing episodes Mondays at 7 a.m.
I noticed
thereabouts.
That, yeah. You'll find them on Spotify, on Stitcher, and on Apple.
And also Google Podcasts if that's your thing.
We have Poople Godcast now?
Yeah, we're on Poople Godcast.
Poople Godcast? Yeah. We're on the Google.
Oh, and
Google
I'm also I'm slower on this, but I'm also putting on YouTube if that's your thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to run After Effects more readily so I can actually give you all some cool visuals to have as something to stare at while you're listening to our beautiful sultry voices.
Silky voices.
Silky, smooth
voices. So right now what we've got up there is we've got like a filmed Daddy Debate Weeb clip.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny.
And we've got episodes 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm a little bit late on 4, but I think at that point 4 is where we've released to, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm cool with that.
IRL.
But yeah.
But yeah, so if you could like the podcast and rate it 5 stars, but also if you could please subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us get some more organic growth that way.
Oh yeah, we'll put up some weeb clips. We'll be doing some more visual content in the future, so look out for that. But the 5 stars and the reviews really help us out a lot. I know basically Patrick, he's been consuming stars daily. It's getting a little out of hand. We're running out of stars.
Yeah,
we really are.
I think currently we have 5 5-star reviews.
We do, and it's actually super cool. But Patrick's a hungry boy. He's a hungry robot, and he will break down. So that'll leave us without an editor. So
yeah,
please.
It's kind of hard to call him a boy now since he has been converted fully to automaton.
He is more of a robo man at this point.
He's a robo man.
If anything, it's a glow up for him. He's looking great. He can run at many miles per hour faster than he could as a boy.
40 to 50. It's actually sick.
It's pretty cool, but he's getting better every day.
Look out for Robo Pat as the guy carrying the flag at the Olympics in a couple years.
If you can actually catch him,
Nobody can.
Don't blink. He'll definitely run so fast, dude. You'll miss him. So,
you know how Usain Bolt isn't doing it anymore?
You know who is?
RoboPat. They told him, hey, we actually have a robot editor who's about to be on the U.S. team for the Olympics. Do you want to kind of try to beat him this year?
And he's like, beat boot.
So Usain Bolt actually sent in a personalized letter to his to Jamaica and said, sorry, not Jamaica. Where's he from? It is Jamaica.
It's Jamaica, yeah.
Yeah, he sent it into Jamaica and he said, no way, man. That's not cool, man.
Oh, no way,
The robot
man.
will kick my ass, man.
No.
Yes.
It can't be done. Not against this beastly
He's
piece
a cool
of technology.
running, man. All right, guys.
anyways.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
And we will see you on the next episode. Remember, JoJo's.
And it's been Weebology. And y'all got learnt.
You've been learned.
Peace and deuces.
And that one true. Yeah.
That one too.
Bye.
Bye.